So if I play that progression by itself, that has really since the mid-19th century been a fairly common choice for composers to harmonize the bad guy. So villainy, or if not villainy, something that's dark and shadowy, mysterious, that idea. But it's often the bad guy. So a classic example of this would be the Imperial March from Empire Strikes Back, 1980. So the first time you see the Star Destroyers early on in that film, you get the Imperial March for the first time. So I'll actually play it in this key. It's not in this key originally, but I'm playing in this key for a reason. So, so it's that same progression. You know, this is the bad guy. So that's the starting point. And when scholars like myself who are interested in music and can describe it in technical ways, but also love watching movies, when they have come up with ways to sort of encapsulate or kind of describe the sound, they use labels that are pretty broad. So they'll describe, they say, okay, minor triads are important. So if you want to be, depicting evil, they were major triads, they're completely a different sound. That sounds more like the good guy or gal. But beyond that, they really don't specify much else. And so part of the work of this article is to say, we actually need to be more precise when we're talking about this type of relationship, how we're going to label this, because there can be other situations where I have this progression, this sound, put into a different context, and that different context can change things considerably. And so that's where the song Strange by Celeste comes in really handy, because the music I've been playing here, it's in that song. And even though that song is not really cheerful, the lyrics, for the most part, are about a breakup. And she actually wrote it around the time when California was in the clutches of fires in that year, I want to say 2018, 2019. And so that's very much on her mind, but it's not about villainy per se. It's just about kind of hard times or things that are unfortunate. Yeah, rather than it being, here's the villain. So should I give you a little taste of the song, and so you can hear? Okay, so I'm gonna play through the song and sing as best I can, and then I'll kind of come back and show you where that progression is, and to say what has changed to then bring this into kind of a new sound. But in the case of the Imperial March, the tonic is this pitch. It's the pitch that Williams keeps coming back to in the tune. That's really been set apart as the most important pitch. That has a certain relationship to the two triads of the villainous progression. But when that relationship changes, then we start to sort of mitigate the villainy of it all. We start to shade it in another direction, where now it's not so much, some very tall person in a scary mask, but now it's something like, oh, I'm going through a breakup. Stop, because at this point Celeste has brought in these two chords from the Imperial March. They're in there, these same two chords. But what makes quite a bit of this bass note is constant throughout the opening of the song, and it's the most important pitch in the song. So we would say that this song is in D. That D is a really important pitch. And yet up above, we're getting this progression that we could also relate to John Williams's Imperial March. The difference is that John Williams is putting it in, well, in this case, in B. And so there's a different relationship between that tonic pitch compared to the Celeste song, where there's a different relationship between the progression and the tonic. And that shift of the progression into a different position relative to the tonic is going to color, it's going to shade, it's going to take this classically villainous progression and kind of mold it into something different.